Yukichi Fukuzawa is the president of the Armed Detective Agency and one of the most powerful and respected members of the team. His supernatural ability is called All Men Are Equal, which allows him to suppress the supernatural abilities of his subordinates within the agency. This means when he uses it, he can reduce or nullify the powers of other ability users on his team, making their powers easier to control or effectively turned off. However, this ability only works on those who are officially part of the Armed Detective Agency and does not affect outsiders. This power symbolizes his leadership role, as it gives him direct influence over the team's abilities, helping maintain balance and control during missions. For example, unstable or overwhelming abilities can be managed under his presence to avoid collateral damage or unintended consequences. Though it might sound like a mere supportive ability, Fukuzawa also possesses impressive martial arts and swordsmanship skills. Despite lacking an offensive supernatural ability, he is physically strong and very skilled in close combat, having defeated several powerful enemies, including multiple Port Mafia assassins, without taking injury. His fighting style is grounded in precise and powerful sword strikes combined with superior combat reflexes. Akiko Yosano is the skilled medical expert of the Armed Detective Agency. Her supernatural ability, Thou Shalt Not Die, grants a profound power to instantly heal any injury or wound, no matter how severe or fatal it may seem, provided the patient is close to dying. This makes her an invaluable asset during dangerous missions, as she can save teammates from the brink of death and allow them to continue fighting or recover fully after battles. Unlike ordinary healing abilities, Akiko's power works only in critical moments, when someone's life is truly at risk. The moment a teammate is teetering on the edge of death, she can revive them swiftly and effectively, often turning the tide in battles. Despite her cold and strict demeanor, Akiko deeply cares for her comrades beneath her tough exterior. She often demands discipline and responsibility from the team, reflecting the seriousness of her power and role. Atsushi Nakajima is the main protagonist of Bungo Stray Dogs, an 18-year-old orphan who was kicked out of his orphanage and struggling to survive alone. He meets Osamu Dazai and Doppo Kunikida, who recruit him into the Armed Detective Agency after discovering his unique supernatural ability. His ability, Beast Beneath the Moonlight, allows him to transform into a powerful white tiger. In this form, he gains incredible strength, speed, agility, and regenerative powers, making him a strong fighter against dangerous enemies. He can use his claws and fangs to attack opponents with devastating force. Despite his formidable strength, Atsushi struggles with self-confidence and control over his power, especially early in the story. He fears losing control or hurting people around him. However, through his interactions with other agency members and facing threats like the Port Mafia, Atsushi grows stronger mentally and physically. His protective nature surfaces as he becomes a guardian figure, especially to Kyōka Izumi, whom he mentors and supports. Atsushi's character is inspired by the real Japanese author Atsushi Nakajima, who wrote a novel called Beast Beneath the Moonlight. Atsushi's ability is also notably influenced by the agency leader Yukichi Fukuzawa's power, which can suppress other abilities, helping Atsushi control his tiger form during missions. Doppo Kunikida is a highly disciplined and hard-working member of the Armed Detective Agency, known for his strict discipline, strong sense of responsibility, and devotion to order. His ability, Lone Poet, allows him to create objects simply by writing detailed descriptions of them in his notebook. These objects instantly become real, tangible items he can wield or use in battle. The versatility of Kunikida's ability is remarkable. He can summon weapons or any tools necessary by carefully writing out their specifications. However, he cannot produce objects larger than his notebook. Kunikida's power allows him to support the team in various ways, whether by constructing weaponry in the middle of combat or creating tactical tools to assist others. While not as flashy as some combat-heavy powers, his ability is invaluable for adaptability and utility. Besides a supernatural skill, Doppo is a highly skilled martial artist and strategist. He has displayed impressive combat skills and quick thinking in battles, often acting as a voice of reason among more impulsive members of the agency. Junichiro Tanizaki is a member of the Armed Detective Agency, an older adoptive brother to Naomi Tanizaki. His supernatural ability, light snow, allows him to manipulate light and shadow with great precision and subtlety. Using this power, he can create illusions that confuse and disorient enemies, as well as render himself or others invisible by bending light around them. Unlike frontline fighters, Junichiro specializes in stealth, support, and reconnaissance. His ability is perfect for clandestine missions, allowing the agency to gather intelligence and strike unseen. Light Snow is named after a novel by the real Junichiro Tanizaki, reflecting the character's subtle and cultured nature. During key missions, Junichiro uses his illusions and invisibility to trick opponents or create openings for his allies, showcasing his value beyond raw combat strength. His relationship with his sister Naomi also adds depth to his character, as he often worries about her safety. Kenji Miyazawa is one of the youngest members of the Armed Detective Agency, and the only member who came from a rural background. Kenji Miyazawa's ability, undefeated by the rain, grants him incredible superhuman strength and durability, allowing him to perform feats such as lifting heavy objects and withstanding powerful attacks. Notably, he can endure a direct blow to his head without apparent harm and survive a barrage of bullets with little injury, reflecting his rural upbringing. Kenji once mentioned frequently getting kicked by cows in his village and suffering minimal damage. However, his power has a unique limitation. Kenji can only activate Undefeated by the Rain effectively when he is on an empty stomach. If he eats before activating his ability, he becomes lethargic and tends to fall asleep, reducing his combat effectiveness. This condition adds a strategic element to his battles and provides a human vulnerability to his otherwise formidable strength. Kenji's combination of raw power, durability, and his cheerful personality make him a beloved and reliable member of the Armed Detective Agency. Kyōka Izumi is a young, yet incredibly skilled member of the Armed Detective Agency. Kyoka ability Demon Snow allows her to materialize a sword-wielding phantom that acts as her guardian and weapon. Initially, Kyoka could only control Demon Snow through her cell phone, which served as a medium for her ability. This limitation meant she wasn't able to fully command her power directly. After joining the Armed Detective Agency, this restriction was overcome thanks to Yukichi Fukuzawa's ability, All Men Are Equal, which suppresses the powers of others and helped Kyoka gain direct control over Demon Snow. This breakthrough enabled her to activate Demon Snow freely, and even use it to cut her restraints while imprisoned in an unmanned aircraft, showcasing her newfound autonomy over the ability. Kyoka also exhibits a gentle and caring side, especially toward her friends within the agency, demonstrating a strong will to protect and fight for those she cares about. Over time, she transforms from a cold weapon into a compassionate young woman seeking to atone for her past. Osamu Dazai is a complex and enigmatic member of the Armed Detective Agency with mysterious and dark past. Previously a high-ranking executive in the Port Mafia, a notorious criminal organization, Dazai defected to the Armed Detective Agency to atone for his past and fight for justice. This history gives him unique insight into both sides of the conflict, making him an invaluable asset in intelligence and strategy. Dazai's supernatural ability, no longer human, allows him to nullify any other ability simply by touching the user. This power is incredibly versatile and effective because it completely cancels out opponents' supernatural skills, leveling the playing field regardless of their strength. However, Dazai's true strength lies not just in his ability, but in his brilliant tactical mind. He often combines his nullification power with cunning plans and combat skills, enabling him to outwit and overpower even the most formidable foes. Dazai is fiercely loyal to his comrades and demonstrates a protective, mentoring side, especially toward Atsushi Nakajima, whom he guides through the early stages of mastering his own ability. His knowledge, experience, and unique power make him a cornerstone of the agency's operations. Ranpo Edogawa is a key member of the Armed Detective Agency, famed for his unparalleled detective skills. His supernatural ability, super deduction, allows him to solve any mystery or crime with almost superhuman accuracy and speed. With just a brief glance or minimal clues, Ranpo can reconstruct entire crime scenes in his mind, piecing together events, motives, and identities like no other. Though Ranpo lacks a traditional combat ability, his extraordinary intellect and keen observational skills make him indispensable to the team. His ability is described as giving him complete information about the truth behind any situation, enabling him to crack cases that baffle others. Ranpo's personality contrasts with his intense focus. He often acts childish, lazy, or disinterested, but becomes remarkably sharp and serious when investigating a case. His eccentric, playful demeanor conceals a brilliant mind capable of profound insight and logic.